Oh my goodness gracious. Well, that was Galactic Cowboys with You Make Me Smile, one of my all-time favorite bands. But forget that. I'm completely a fluster. I'm like a little schoolgirl here. It's ridiculous. I have a Prog legend on the line right now. He's a rock metal legend. I'm sure he can't walk the streets in Europe. But I have Mr. Arjen, as I just found out is the actual way to pronounce it. Arjen Lucassen from Ayreon, Ambien, Guilt Machine, Streams of... the list is too long. Welcome aboard, Arjen.
Hi, Chris. It's Arjen.
Arjen, okay, Arjen.
You can call me Arjen. It's fine by me.
So now you've just started me off to the first question then. So Arjen, is that how you would say the project Arjen? The same thing, A-Y-R-E?
The project would be Ayreon.
Ayreon, okay, so...
Ayreon, Arjen, Star One, Guild Machine, Swing of Passion, etc., etc.
God, it's insane, And me just being the ignorant American that I am, I'm just like, it's Arjen, that's how it's spelled. And I've been saying it for 10 years. God.
No problem, man, no problem.
Well, anyway, welcome to Progtology 101. It's an absolute, ridiculous pleasure and honor to have you. I can't even express to you how much of a fan I am of your work. It's really crazy.
Great to hear.
So you've released a solo album, Lost in the New Real. Tell me about that. What made you decide to go the solo route this time around?
Well, basically, I've been trying to do a solo album for years now. I think the last Ayreon album was going to be a solo album, and the Guild Machine album was going to be a solo album. But every time it's like, shit, I want to invite this singer, I want to invite that singer, or I hear a singer who's way better than me, and then I change my plans. But, I guess now was the right time to do it. And also, the last couple of albums I did, I think I was really trying to please the fans. Especially the last Star One album, there were a lot of fans asking me, do another Star One album, do a heavy album. And this time I wanted to do an album for myself, because basically that's why I started the Ayreon project back in the 90s, to finally do something that I like. So I wanted to have that feeling again, that feeling of starting a project and there are no expectations of the fans. So that was the main reason.
Well, it's really interesting. So to you, the idea of a solo project is just you singing. That's what defines a solo project. Because to me, when I look at Ayreon, that's like your brainchild, and all these other people are around to help you, get your message across. So that, I think, to most musicians, they would see that as a solo project, but to you, it's not. It's more a collaborative thing.
Basically, with Ayreon 2, I write all the songs, I play almost all the instruments. But yeah, like you said, the big difference is that I sing all the vocals this time.
Interesting.
And also this album is really back to my roots, back to the bands that I grew up listening to, like Beatles, Floyd, Zeppelin. It's got that nostalgic feel, even more so than Ayreon.
It sure does. It's definitely got a very trip rock type of feel to it. It's much of a departure from my favorite album, of yours, which is The Human Equation, which absolutely boggles my mind whenever I listen to it. I played the song Loser earlier, and what a fantastic album that was. How much energy went into The Human Equation?
Well, basically not more than any other Ayreon album, but a lot of energy goes into doing an Ayreon album. It's at least 2 years of work, writing all the songs, recording all the songs, inviting all the singers, flying all the singers over, recording them, and the whole thing. But it's worth it, all the pain and all the trouble. It's really my flagship, it's my baby, Ayreon, and I can't wait to do another one.
Is there because you have a literal pantheon of progressive and metal and just from all genres of musicians and singers and vocalists that you've worked with, is there one that has eluded you, or one that you would love to work with that you haven't had a chance to work with yet?
Oh yeah, not just one. I mean, there's dozens. Mostly the singers that I grew up listening to. If I could work with anyone from my favorite bands I just mentioned, like Beatles or Floyd or Zeppelin or Purple, any of those guys would be such a dream come true. But these guys are so hard to reach, and they have different roots than me. They listen to different music. They probably don't even like my music. I mean, I asked David Gilmour, for instance, and he doesn't like metal or prog at all. His roots are like blues and stuff like that. So, but yeah, people like that, like Gilmour or Robert Plant or Ian Gillan, or even Alice Cooper. I've always been a huge Alice Cooper fan. The list goes on and on.
Wow. Do you think, so I was looking at your resume the other day, just boning up for this, and you have credits on roughly 50 studio albums. Would you dare call yourself like the European or like the non-American Frank Zappa?
I wouldn't dare. No.
I mean, because he's got like 1,000 credits. Like he's got.
I know.
You're kind of in the same vein, I mean, you're kind of a virtuoso guitarist type of songwriter who it sounds like you don't pride yourself on your singing at all, but you have ability. You know what I mean? And like you're very similar in that vein. So like it just came to me this week. I'm like, this guy's like Frank Zappa over there. It's something special.
Well, of course, that's a big compliment. And as you know, there is a Frank Zappa cover on my album. So yeah, no, I love Frank Zappa. I love him as a person and as a musician. So that's a big compliment indeed.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to pay it. Absolutely. So, I mean, I know this is a hard question to answer. It's like asking a musician what their favorite song of their own is or what their favorite album is. But out of all the projects you've done, Star One, Streams of Passion, Ayreon, solo stuff, Guilt Machine, etc., which was the one that, you liked doing the most, that you enjoyed doing the most?
I think it sounds corny because I just released it, but I think this solo album, I haven't had so much fun in years. And mainly because of the reasons I said earlier, because I did something completely for me and I was going back to my roots. And I love doing that album. But apart from that, Ayreon, I can put all my styles and all my tastes in Ayreon, so that's definitely my most important project and the one I like the best. Having said that, it's a pain in the ass to arrange all the singers and the logistics. It's a logistic nightmare and a financial nightmare, of course, to do an Ayreon. So that's the downside of it. But then again, if you worked for a year to get a singer, and you finally have him in your studio, and it's guys like Bruce Dickinson or James LeBrie or Mikael Åkerfeldt or Devin Townsend or whatever.
God, it's crazy.
That is a dream come true.
I can't imagine.
Oh my God, to hear these guys singing my music, people that I listened to when I was growing up. That's the biggest thing that can happen to me. So
God, it brought a tear to my eye just listening to that. I mean. Between LeBrie and Ty Tabor and the list goes on. It's you're a definite like fantastic. You seem to bring everybody together, which is something I think the progressive music scene needs so badly. Like something to tie it all together. Do you ever see a scenario where you can play any of these Ayreon albums out live? Like, can you ever get them all together to do like one mega show?
No, that would be impossible. Even to get them in my studio for 1 or 2 days is like hell. It takes like months and months of preparations and scheduling, and to get all these people together at the same time in the same places cannot be done. And a lot of people don't think about it, but you need to rehearse. Especially if I do an Ayreon stuff, it's complicated stuff, complicated matter, and you need to at least rehearse a couple of weeks, and that's you need them for. If you want to do just one show, you need them at least for 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow!
And to get all these people together, that's logistically again and financially impossible.
Yeah, if I were some sort of ridiculous rich man, I would totally pay a king's ransom to have the human equation on stage. You have no idea. I would.
Even then, if these guys got tour scheduled or whatever, they can't do it. Whatever you pay them.
I'll make it worth their while. I wish I could. I wish I could. It would be one of those things that, like, there are certain things in my life that I regret. I never got to see Freddie Mercury live, and and a few things, and I will never get to see the Human Equation on stage. That's just one of those things. So how often do
you play the lottery?
Yeah.
Okay,
I wish I could have won that $330 million one that happened recently, right?
That's
yeah.
what I'm talking about, right?
I could sink it all into the Human Equation. How'd you like that? How does that sound?
That's it. It's a plan.
Awesome. So how often do you get to play out live? Like, you don't really tour a whole lot. You're not, how often do you really, and do you want to play live? Like, is that something you strive to do, or would you rather be in the studio?
Well, I've been playing live ever since I was 18. I played live for 15 years, touring the world with a couple of bands called Bodine and Vengeance.
Right.
Made a lot of helps with them, too. And basically, I started the whole Ayreon project because I was tired of playing live. It just wasn't my thing, the traveling and the waiting and the socializing, playing the same songs night after night. It's not creative at all.
Mm.
And it becomes like a routine after you play a song like 20, 30, 40, maybe 100 times, you really don't feel it anymore. And I really got tired of it, and that's why I did the Ayreon project. So no, playing live really is not my passion anymore. So, I loved it back in the 80s when I was touring. It was, as a kid, it was fun, and the whole sex, drugs, rock and roll thing.
Yes.
I loved it. I mean, it was great, but not anymore. No, I much prefer to be creative, and I much more see myself as like a producer, as like a composer. That's more my thing.
It is a young man's game, isn't it?
I think so.
So you don't plan on touring or doing anything to support this disc? Like that's just, do you even do like live shows like in your country, in your area, just to kind of get out there and do it, or it's just like you don't even want to bother being on stage at all?
Basically, I really don't want it.
Cool.
It's my nightmare, and that's literary. I wake up at night sweating that I'm on stage without my pants on or whatever.
Oh my goodness!
I can't find my guitar, or I can't find the venue, and I got these big dreams. Every week, at least once a week, I got this gig dream and nightmare, and it's really not my thing anymore.
Wow.
Having said that, I did do a little acoustic thing. I did a couple of record shops where I played the solo thing, just acoustic guitar and a couple of friends, just to see if I would like it. But I did not.
No, jeez. Wow.
I was just sitting there with a guitar, and then people are looking at you, and now he's going to be funny, and now he's going to be this, and I was just, oh my God, I was nervous too, and the thing is, you called me a virtuoso, but I'm really not. Like I said, I'm a composer producer. That's what I do well, and I know myself. But I'm really not a great singer or a great guitar player, and then I really don't have that urge to show off on stage or something. That's completely gone. I don't know.
Well, if you're not a great guitarist, then you fake it pretty damn well. Because let me tell you, the stuff I hear begs to differ than what you just said.
Well, I got a lot of studio tricks here. It's note for note.
Gotcha.
No, I can do it live. But,
your honesty is fantastic. So going forward, what do we see out of, you just released this recently, Lost in the New Reel, on Inside Out Records, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what do we see going forward? Is there a new Ayreon in the works? Is there a new solo thing in the works? Are you one of those guys that there's always something next already, or do you take breaks?
Well, basically because I don't play live and I don't tour, because that's usually what you do. You finish an album and then you tour, you promote the album. I don't have that, so yeah, I always love to go straight into the next project, and luckily I'm already getting inspiration for a next project. The thing is also, everything I do is a reaction to the previous thing. Like I did the last Ayreon, which was huge. It had 17 singers, and it was bombastic and big. So after that, I did something small. I did Guild Machine with just one singer, and it was kind of atmospheric.
Yes.
As a reaction to that, I did like a pure, very loud metal album, Star One, after that. As a reaction to Star One, I did this solo thing, which is much more poppy and more positive. So, after this, I'm sure my new stuff is going to be a reaction to that. And I hope it will be an Ayreon. I'm afraid to say it because I keep changing my mind, But,
I'm holding you to it. That's it. Done. No, it's done. That's it. It's locked in. You heard it here first, folks. Right here on Prog 101. Next album is Ayreon. That's it. Done.
Yep.
We can expect Devin Townsend, James LaBrie, Bruce Dickinson, all of them. They're all coming back.
I'd love to work with Devin again. I mean, getting his vocal tracks, I remember, like for you played Loser, the
he's amazing.
At the end, it was like I got that, and I was like, oh my God, what's happening here? Do I like? Yes, I do.
Yeah, he's so dynamic, and he's just so good. Devin Townsend's one of my all-time favorites. As are you, Arjen, and I have to tell you, I'm gonna call you Arjen anyway. It'll be a thing between me and you. There you go. I'm just gonna
good.
I'm just gonna pronounce your name wrong from now on. That's what I'm gonna do. Thank you so much for gracing my show with your presence. You have no idea how happy I am that you joined us, and best of luck to you in your future endeavors, and definitely Lost in the New Reel for sure.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you down the road. All right.
Okay, definitely for the next album, for the next Ayreon.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Book it. You heard it here. Also, the next Ayreon, which is the next. See, you got yourself in all kinds of trouble now. Now it's out there.
I know. No way back.
All right, that's Arjen Lucassen. We're gonna play Pink Beatles and a Purple Zeppelin off of his new release, Lost in the New Reel. It's Arjen Lucassen on Progtology 101. We'll come back in a few moments and wrap this sucker up so we can go home.
Every song's been sung before. Every note's been played. Every chord's been strummed before.